sing a couple songs for us. Let's listen, please. Thank you. Tim?
The weather, but we're doing the best we can. And understand that we're going to have a real vacation next summer, beginning of Friday, July 12th, when the trip is done, and all the things we have better weather. Just want to make a few comments. I'm going to introduce people. We're going to have some very brief remarks. Then following that, we're going to have Main Street to the Burger Building. You're all invited to come for a coffee and a cookie. In 1941, when the viaduct originally was built, the Girl Scouts were not permitted at that time, so we thought it was appropriate they cut it again. This is the sixth bridge in West Middlesex of the Shenango River. In 1840 and 1850, 1860, they built 3 wooden bridges. Then in 1869, they built the iron bridge. And then in 1941, the viaduct. And then in 1982, the viaduct was updated, and now we have our new bridge. It truly is now a bridge. It's no longer a viaduct. It's marvelous. It's remember what the other one was. West Middlesex is a unique little town, very special to many of us. It was part of a Revolutionary War grant. The Revolutionary War ended, the government didn't have any money, but had lots of land. So they gave land to people for two reasons. One, to pay them, and secondly, to encourage them to come west. And the amount of land you got was based on your rank. There was Captain James Gibson, who was given 500 acres of land, which is West Middlesex, both sides of the Niagara River. He chose not to come, and sold the land to his father-in-law, who was Jacob Edinburgh. These people lived in Cumberland County, across the Susquehanna River from Harrisburg. And they lived near a town, believe it or not, was named Middlesex. Jacob Edinburgh was too old to come, so he dispatched his three sons, William, Henry, and John. John, and I are ancestors of that original John Edinburgh. William Edinburgh came here in 1808. Across the river, he built a grist mill and later a sawmill. And that was the beginning of West Middlesex. Through the years, the town developed. Where we're standing right now is where the Erie Extension Canal was. And it hooked up with the High River in Beaver Falls and went all the way to Erie. Later, we had two railroads. On this side of the river was the Erie, later the New York Central. The other side was the Pennsylvania. On Erie Street, we had what was called the Interurban, which is a streetcar. It ran from West Middlesex, out where Jones Way is, to Richmond, Farrell, Sharon, and eventually to Main Street, to Hubbard, and to Youngstown. And of course, in more recent times, we've had Interstate 80 and Interstate 376. So West Middlesex has always been a major area for transportation. And you don't appreciate something until it's gone. And the old viaduct was torn down on April 1, and here we are on November 20. They estimate 5,200 people use it a day, and certainly it'll be nice to have it back, and we're all very appreciative of that. And we're certainly appreciative of what PennDOT has been able to do for us. The bridge cost about $6.5 million. 80% of that was federal funds, and 20% was state funds. The borough invested about $120,000 in the relocation of the shoreline, and that's all it cost us. And you can see how downtown is totally different. New streets, new curves, new sidewalks, and eventually new street lights as well. So we're certainly indebted to PennDOT, we're certainly indebted to the state and the federal government. Now I want to call upon Mr. Montetti, who is representing the state government. He's our state representative, 7th District.
This is certainly a proud day for West Middlesex and Shenango Township. And I think it's a fine example of cooperation across governments, from federal government to the state government, particularly PennDOT, to the local officials, and obviously to all of you, because this has taken some degree of patience on everybody's part. But as they say, temporary inconvenience for permanent improvement. This is certainly a permanent improvement. We certainly want to thank the contractors as well who delivered this project. And we're looking forward to everybody being able to use the bridge again. So thank you to all the officials who have cooperated and worked together to deliver this project.
As I said, next summer the bridge will be completed, and next summer we'll have our official dedication. And that'll be on the evening of Friday, July the 12th. The next day, Saturday, July 13th, the Zen Zem Temple is going to have their ceremonial parade in West Middlesex. It's an outstanding honor for our town. And then we're going to have a celebration over the grassy area by the food mill as we did 4 years ago, because next year will be our 155th anniversary. So we're hoping that we will all come back for that. All right, enough is said.
So that's all right. You know, Bob, whenever we met back in May, it was a 75-degree day, and this sounded like a great idea, right? Guess what? +3, a typical Northwestern day, it's still a great idea, right? So I guess, you know, PennDOT, we really pride ourselves on being connected to the community, which this is a great example of. So, you know, how do we engage in communities? It includes meetings, a lot of meetings when we start developing the project and working with, you know, West Middlesex and Shenango, and seeing what the importance is here and the sidewalks, and again making connections, alerting all of you to our detours and our construction start dates and time. When Bob and I first met, he had heard we might not be done this year, right? So there was concern, so we recognized that. So again, we had a great contractor, which I'll recognize here in a minute. So again, you know, You know, Bob shared that West Middlesex has a rich history of bridges along Route 318. So this story is a wonderful example of how PennDOT, you know, we're constantly adapting to the changing transportation needs here in Pennsylvania for our residents and our visitors alike. The bridge that we stand here before today is much different than its immediate predecessor, which all of you know, right? So the corner bridge was 718 feet long. It was a steel truss across Garfield Street and the Shenango River. So after taking everything into account with the communities and the structure we have here today is 230 feet. So that's still a great asset to the community, you know, in our transportation system, but it's less assets for the department to manage and take care of. So that's why it's a great improvement for us. So again, it meets all the needs. You know, Bob mentioned it was a $6.5 million project and a detour that we really thank the community for your patience for the detour. It really gives us a higher quality structure and also, you know, expedites that construction, which is real important. So next year we do have a final wearing service put in place, so you'll see us doing that next spring. So I want to recognize really Micas Corporation, Construction Corporation of Pendleton is our contractor on the project. Big hand to you guys. Steve Reed, the project manager, Ray Reed, the superintendent, and Tony Bertolino, the president. I'm not sure if Tony's here, but they're a great, Tony, I'm sorry, it's been a while since I've seen you. So honestly, Micas is one of the best bridge contractors, not only in Western Pennsylvania, but in the entire state of Pennsylvania. Delivers high quality work, and we like it every time they build a bridge in this state. JMT was our inspection consultant to help us make sure the quality work and coordinate everything with DLZ and RIG. CDM Smith folks are here. That was our designer who designed the bridge. It takes a lot of effort to get a project like this out on the street and design and through the permitting process. This actually project was environmentally sensitive. Micas had to take great care to avoid it hurting the environment and staying out of the stream, which was really a challenge and an accomplishment to them. And actually, those of you that know Bill Kohler, our bridge engineer, was amazed at what they were able to do and how they did the demolition. So I'd also like to recognize Nick Sikoris. Nick, raise your hand. Nick was our project manager out here every day overseeing things. And Ralph Ellsworth, our assistant construction manager that manages all of our projects here in the area. So again, I just want to take a moment and just thank everybody for being here, and I'm looking forward to the Scouts cutting the ribbon.
One more thing I want to do. There are some people I've been told that are here today that were here in 1941. If there is such people, put your hands up. I've told us a couple people here. Back there?
That's you.
He was born in 1936, so he was here in 41, but he tells me he can't remember, but his mother told me that he was here. And who else do we have? We want to acknowledge those people that were here. Myrtle? All right, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate you all so much. Again, all right.
The cars will be hovering above the ground.
This is my great-nephew, John Lark III, and he lives at the first house across the bridge. So he and his mom and dad and his sister have experienced this the last several months. More importantly, John is the 8th great-nephew. William Edinburgh, who was the first settler here. So John has a very brief, we worked on this the last couple of days. John has a very brief speech to give. John? I, John Lark, officially open the bridge. Borough building.
Not too bad.